The Kennedys, they're the Democrat Party's golden family, a dynasty that can apparently do no wrong. When their reckless behavior isn't drowning women in Chappaquiddick or Martha's Vineyard, the Liberal clan is trying desperately to regain political power that peaked 50 years ago. The latest heir to be trotted out by the Democrats is Joe Kennedy III, a U.S. congressman from Massachusetts. He recently entered the national spotlight after his televised rebuttal to President Trump's State of the Union address was panned by both conservatives and liberals, and Joe seemed to be drooling as he stared at the camera. Now, Joe Kennedy III is making a fool out of himself again. Instead of looking unprepared on television, this time he's parroting delusions about another Joe Biden, that is. During an interview with Politico, Kennedy reiterated his support for presidential loser Hillary Clinton, but then declared that bumbling former Vice President Joe Biden would have beat Donald Trump. "I was a very strong supporter of Mrs. Clinton's. I think she would have been a great president," Kennedy stated, according to The Hill. Trending, open border-loving politician found beheaded, case still barely mentioned by media. He was such a strong supporter that he wishes somebody else had run, apparently. "I do believe, however, that if it were a race in the last 6 weeks of the election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I think Joe Biden probably would have been successful," the young Kennedy insisted. Think about that for a moment. Hillary Clinton had been positioning herself as a future president for decades. She had almost every advantage, power, connections, even a primary that may have been rigged. She had a mainstream media that covered for her endlessly, a Department of Justice that now appears to have been colluding to protect her, and even people slipping her the debate questions to give her an edge. Would Joe Biden have done better than Hillary Clinton? Yes, no, _continue with Facebook. You're logged into Facebook. Click here to log out. -- Completing this poll entitles you to Conservative Tribune News updates free of charge. You may opt out at any time. You also agree to our privacy policy in terms of use. Even with all of that, the pantsuit who would be president fell flat on her face and was unable to beat Donald Trump. And Congressman Kennedy thinks creepy Uncle Joe would have done better? Interestingly, even Kennedy was forced to admit that Donald Trump was far more in touch with the voters than his critics dared to admit. Trump had his finger on the pulse of something that most people didn't see or feel, the liberal congressman told Politico. Democrats need to do that, too. Related, how convenient, woman who accused Trump now running for office. Biden himself seems to be delusional about his chances to take the White House, as long as there's no competition. In late December, Biden suggested a possible 2020 bid, saying he may very well do it should a strong candidate not emerge, reported The Hill. "If, in a year from now, if we're ready and no one has moved in that I think can do it, then I may very well do it," Biden said. That's a pretty good summary of the Democrat political field right now. There doesn't seem to be any enthusiasm or vision, and everyone is just looking around waiting for some magical leader to emerge. Liberals no doubt hoped that Joe Kennedy III was that savior, but his lukewarm performance after the State of the Union and general air of privilege and aloofness haven't gone over well. Democrats seem to be scraping the bottom of the barrel for their 2020 hopes. Maybe Jimmy Carter is available. Please press share on Facebook if you think the DNC is stuck in a rut. What is your reaction to the prospect of a Biden run? Scroll down to comment below.